field, and I want to thank him so much, and thank all the folks out there, Ann Pugh, for helping us set up this event out here tonight. And she was also, of course, here the last time. And, of course, we want to congratulate and thank her for bringing out a bunch of her friends as well. Mary Carter of Clinton for winning the tailgate party this time around. And Mary brought about 5 or 6 of her friends, and they all enjoyed the buffet and the fine food we had over there. And we thank her for listening to us and congratulate her.
And with Clinton losing both of the ones that they had, and with Summers last week kicking some point after touchdowns and kicking them with authority, that gives Clinton a little different perspective when you're down inside the 20 that you can possibly.
And we'll continue to talk about what is riding on the outcome of this game as we get started with the kickoff by Winburn, taken down by Pegas, and now they've reversed it around. No, they keep it, run the fake reverse. The Lamar Tigers did to start off this ball game, convincingly, obviously, because the announcer bid on it. But it was Pegas at the quarterback position, and again, Mark Gardner, their fine running back, the senior, he'll be at the tailback position in this I formation, and it looks like that's who's going to get the carry. That is Gardner with the carry past the 25, about the 26-yard line. So on first down, they go with what they... Second down now and 10. That's what they're saying, as he didn't get any yardage on the play. Hand off again. That is Gardner again busting up past the 25 again, now down to the 29-yard line. I thought he gained a couple yards on that play after the last carry, but this time gets some more yardage up. Cardinals come out with 4 down linemen and 2 linebackers on this third down situation, as again they hand off again, this time to the right side, and he's going to be very close, looks like. Again, I believe that was Gardner again on the stop, or on the carry, I should say. No, they're saying Tiemann made the carry with the Tigers on offense, and Brett Marty leading his team back up on offense with 1 man in the backfield behind him, 2 men, excuse me, the I formation behind him, and 1 man to the far side as receiver of fake. Now Marty keeps it, and thought about getting rid of it, but good decision, because he keeps it and goes all the way past the 50-yard line into Clinton Cardinal territory. And Coach looked like he might.
But your inside linebackers have to scrape out and stop the quarterback as well.
1 man to the far side, the I formation behind Marty. He hands off again to Gardner. Gardner past the 45, past the 40, gets another first down for the Lamar Tigers. He's past the 40, about the 37-yard line of the Clinton Cardinals, and all of a sudden they're starting to get fired up, and that's the yard line of Clinton. Lamar will be going on a 2nd and 1 with Marty under center and the I formation behind him. Handoff again goes to Gardner. He's got the first down, and he's past the 35 down to about the 33-yard line. Tackled there by, looked like Brandon Wenders for the Clinton.
Up the trap, but he cut it back against the grain, was able to squeak out a few yards.
And here we go back on offense. This time they hand off. It goes again to Gardner. Gardner, beautiful cutback, goes all the way down the near sideline here to pass the 15-yard line, make it about the 12-yard line. Beautiful run that time, Coach.
Down and put a stop to him.
Again, the I formation, simple formation behind Brett Marty. Marty barking out signals now, takes a snap, hands off this time to the fullback. Fumble on the play, and let's see who gets it. Fumble on the play. I think it was Tiemann that fumbled the ball. The ball was fumbled all the way up to past the 5-yard line. And we're waiting for the pile to untangle and see what happens here. I believe, though, yeah, Lamar keeps possession. Lamar popped out and moved all the way down there to about the 4-yard line. So it is a 2nd down now, as again we get to Gardner, and he comes around the near side for a touchdown. And the Lamar Tigers come out smoking. Take the ball for the way, right, Coach?
Sprint draw, sprint draw, sprint draw, and just like I said before, that's what they're going to see, and had excellent blocking that time. He had 1 man to beat the cornerback and sidestepped him and punched it right in.
Here's the extra point attempt by Marty, who again does all their kicking for them as well, and he gets it through. It is 7-0. The Lamar Tigers come in here and take the opening possession and run it down for a touchdown. 7:32 remain here in this first quarter. We'll take a 36 last week, making some fine catches as well as doing some good blocking for the offense. Here's the kickoff. It's a low line drive, bounces at the 30 and bounces out of bounds at the 24-yard line, and Clinton will get better.
The run right now. You got to establish the run. to set up for pass.
Winburn to the far side. It will be, again, Ray Swetnam, who had such a wonderful game at the fullback position last week. He'll be in there. Alongside him will be number 32, the main man on offense running-wise, Melvin Carroll. Summers barking signals, and here goes Carroll. Going to the far side, breaks one tackle, two tackles, gets past the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard out of that play as he ran around that far sideline there, Coach. Out a number of times, 87, Dusty Van Gelder, their fine middle linebacker. We need to keep an eye on him tonight. It's second down now and really 10 yards because Melvin really didn't get a yard out of that. As this time now the tailback's Jimmy Page, and he gets some yardage out of that, busting up to about the 39-yard line of Clinton. It'll bring up a third down. It's important to have him do it.
And the way Clinton runs the football, you know, they're going to need as many fresh legs as they can have.
And as a matter of fact, it will be number 23, Chris Weber, at the tailback position on this play, as it will be a pass by Summers. No, he fakes it and keeps it, runs it all the way past the 45-yard line. A gutty play by Summers. He picks up the first down onto the 46-yard line as he faked the handoff.
7 or 8 yards of green, so you always want your quarterback to take that if he can get it.
Cody Winburn to the near side. Steve James is in there also now, so look for him as a possible receiver. That big target, 6'3", and as a matter of fact, he goes in motion to the far side. And off this time to Carroll, and he's going to be met back past the 40-yard line. Tackled all the way back there. Looked like number 54, Chet Parker. Chet Parker playing at the right defensive.
Playing well outside. Clinton's tight end right now. It's awful hard to get him hook blocked, which is what you want on that, and able to penetrate and stop the play.
Steve James, a big 6'3" boy, is out here to the near side as a receiver. Now here comes Summers rolling to this near side, wants to throw it, and he's got Cody Winburn, but it's incomplete. Comes out to the near side this time as a receiver. It will be Swetnam and Carroll behind Ryan Summers. Now we have another flag, or look like a flag. It's 3rd and 14 situation. They hand off to Carroll, who goes around the far side there, goes past the 46. He's going to be well short of the first down.
Melvin Carroll on the carry.
And they'll bring up a punting situation there as he gained some yardage back, but not enough. Not last week for the Cardinals. Well, number 18, Zach Harris, is back deep, the lone man to receive the kick for Lamar. Weber takes a low snap. It bounces to him, but he gets it off. A nice, good punt. And it will force Harris to take the ball at about his own 15-yard line. He's being chased there by Swetnam and Steve James, who tackle him about the 25-yard line. Good coverage that time by the special teams of the Clinton Cardinals, 5-yard line. As again, we get quarterback number 12, Brett Marty, out there with the I formation behind him. Barking out signals is Marty, and again, the man you're going to hear about an awful lot gets the ball. Mark Gardner. He dances around and gets back to the line of scrimmage, but good play, though, by the Clinton Cardinals.
A loss, but
I thought maybe he got the line of scrimmage, but they gave him a yard out of that, didn't they? So the ball spotted just past the 25, make it the 26-yard line. Second down now, 9 for the Tigers. Back to the action here as Marty keeps the ball, keeps it now, pitches it, but Steve James is right there to wrap him up. Good play by Steve James. He has really been bringing out his best here in the past few weeks, hasn't he, Coach? 43 remaining here in the first quarter as it's now 3rd and 7 for the Tigers with one man split to the far side, and of course the I formation again behind Marty. Marty again hands off to Gardner. Gardner is met that time, though, by the linebacker, number 22 for the Clinton Cardinals. That's Jason Borland. A good stop by him, and that will bring up 4th down. To heck with the punt. They say we're going to go for it. 4th and 3. Now, all of a sudden, here comes Marty, which is something we could see a lot of tonight. He goes back into the punt formation. And there comes the snap. The kick is away, and it's angling down at the 50-yard line and goes out of bounds at about the 47-yard line to make it the 47-yard line about.
Again, you got Swetnam there in the backfield who's yet to carry the football, and real good defensive series for Clinton that time.
James is lined up as a receiver this time to the near side. Summers barking out signals, wants to pass, got plenty of time. He's got James down here on the near side, but good coverage that time, and he was overthrown. Coverage by Courtney Roth. Summers with only Swetnam lined up behind him. 2 receivers now. I believe that's Page and Winburn lined up to the far side as receivers. Summers takes the snap, hands it off to Swetnam, and he maybe gets 1 yard. Busted it right up the middle, but we saw that last week. I think it was the last touchdown of the ball game.
A little bit with a double wide formation and just tried for the quick hitter.
Winburn again back in here as a receiver, this time lined up to the near side. Steve James also in there. Swetnam as well as it looks like Carroll, or make that Yeah, it is Carroll who takes the pitch, and he goes to the near side. He eludes one man, and doesn't get the second man to miss him. I believe that was number 11, Michael Miller. Actually made the play, but as a matter of fact, this probably is going to be the last play of this first quarter. Again, Clinton trailing 7-0 to Lamar as Summers comes up under center with 3 men to the near side as receivers. Back to pass is Summers, looking, now throws. He was looking for Winburn. Over his head, incomplete. Coverage applied that time again by Brent Tiemann. That'll be again number 23. That is Chris Weber for the Cardinals. Back to deep to receive will be Zach Harris. He'll be punting from about his own 47-yard line. Nice high snap by Weber. 2 good kicks by him. Ball bounces past the 10, past the 5, and into the end zone for a touchback. So the Tigers will take over at their own 20. After 1 quarter of play, 7-0. Lamar out in front over. Back here to action as it's now 1st and 10 for the Lamar Tigers as they lead 7-0 here after 1 quarter of play. Again, the handoff this time goes to their main man on offense. That is Gardner, number 22. He takes it on up past the 20-yard line up to about the 24-yard line. Brings up a 2nd down now for the Tigers. Again, 7-0. That would be on November 5th. First things first, though, they got to take care of Lamar, and they're trailing right now by a 7-0 score. However, good stop that time on defense by the Cardinals as Gardner tried to bust around that time. And the Cardinals rep played so well this entire season. He's played well his entire career here. He's been on that team that was 0-9 as we talked about earlier. Now a 3rd down for the Tigers as back to pass goes Marty. He's got a man wide open down the middle of the field. Past the 50 all the way down to the 45 of the Clinton Cardinals is number 40. That is Jared Jeffries. Wrestled down there by
right and stopped and set his feet and threw it back over the middle.
Back on offense come the Tigers now, and again they go back to Gardner. Gardner busting it past the 45, almost down to the 40-yard line before stacked up there by a number of Cardinals, including, look like Jason Walker, one of the stoppers, also Dana Banks. We get all the equipment straightened out for Lamar, and again they hand it off to Gardner. Gardner again busting it up. Now fumble on the play, and we'll see who has it. Clinton signals that they have it. This is the 2nd fumble we've had by the Tigers. However, the last time they recovered it, officials down in there. And it is Lamar's football, I believe, according to the officials. Yes, Lamar did get back on that and recovered it. Ball spotted on.
2nd time Gardner's put the ball on the ground. Needs to cover that ball up a little bit more.
2 receivers to the near, 1 to the far as Marty goes back to pass. And no, they don't call a flag. We've been wondering about some things there about how they're going to call in these coverages. But the pass from off balance as much as possible. 4th and 5, very possible he could keep it for the run, and that's what it looks like he's going to do. He's going to pitch it this time to, looks like Gardner, and Gardner busts up past the 40 and very nearly has that 1st down as they wrestle him out of bounds, about the 36-yard line.
I think he's going to be short.
Okay, just a little bit, about a yard maybe. We'll see.
And, we're having a little trouble moving the football, and, here we are now on the 35-yard line, and with excellent field position, need to get something going.
Summers barking out signals, I formation behind him. Winburn to the near side. Summers hands off to Melvin Carroll, who goes around the near side and is met right there at the line of scrimmage by the Tigers. Looked like it might have been number 54 again. Well, okay, if you say. And he has been a great force for them so far here tonight. 2nd down now. Matter of fact, a loss of a yard. 2nd and 11 for Summers as he barks out signals. Now passes in the flat over to James, the big man, but he's not going too much of anywhere. However, though, that big frame of his, bless his heart, I tell you what, he busted it past the 40-yard line all the way up to about the 43-yard line. When you got that
little gain.
Timeout by the officials. They're wanting to check on the measurement, or the spot of the ball, I should say. Again, if you just joined us, we are at the Lamar out in front 7-0, though. Clinton trying to drive here on a 3rd and 3 situation from their own 43-yard line. As it is Summers handing off, looks like to, I believe that's Swetnam. Yeah. Swetnam going up past the 45. He's near that 1st down mark, but he might be a little bit short because they're spotting it on the 48-yard line. But no, they give him a 1st down. He got to where he needed to be, got to the spot. That's all now remaining here, and the Cardinals trying to get something going, trailing 7-0. I formation behind Summers, barking out signals. 1 man to the far side as a receiver for the Cardinals. Again, Summers hands off. This time it's Page as the tailback. He's not going anywhere again. 1st down, you need to get those big plays. We talked about it last week, Coach, how vital it was for the Clinton Cardinals on those first plays. Going to be 2nd and 10 as Page, they mark him back up on that carry to the original line of scrimmage. One man to the near side. Again, that is Winburn as a receiver. Steve James also in as a receiver. Swettenham as well as Carroll behind Summers. The pitch goes to Carroll. Melvin trying to work his way around that far side there. Broke a couple of tackles, but he's going to go back for a loss all the way to the 45-yard line, Coach. And, boy, just great pursuit.
Sure. Clinton's having a real hard time.
James will come here to the near side as a receiver. Again, all 6'3" of him. Swettenham along with Weber behind Summers in that backfield. Back to pass goes Summers. Looking. He's under pressure. Throws. He's got Cody Winward wide open on the 35, 30, down to the 25, to the 20. Finally wrestled down to the 19-yard line of the Lamar Tigers. Huge play on third down for the Clinton Cardinals, Coach.
Sure, great pass.
Forget him about there because we have Steve James, the big target out there, but he got down there, made the big catch. First down now in the Lamar Tiger deep territory. Summers now back. Now fumbles the ball, falls on it, fortunately, for the Clinton Cardinals. So from ecstasy to almost tragedy, the Clinton Cardinals.
Sometimes that center quarterback exchange, but again, it puts Clinton in a second long situation.
Swettenham, and it will be number 23, Weber, behind him. Barking out signals is Summers. Summers back to pass, looking to that far side. Has got a man. That's James, but it's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by the Lamar Tigers all the way past the 20-yard line. Breaks one tackle is the Lamar Tiger player. I couldn't catch the number, Coach, but he brings it all the way up past the 25, 26-yard line, maybe the 27-yard line. The first mistake we've seen Ryan Summers make in a long time, Coach.
Because the receiver had the cornerback beat and a real tough break for Clinton.
So the Lamar Tigers avoid a big threat and get the ball back on their own, make it to 17, 18-yard line as now Gardner comes in about 5. Clinton Cardinals miss him. He busted all the way up to the 40, past the 50, into Cardinal territory, down to the 40, down to the 35, 30, 25, 15, 10, 5, touchdown on the first play after an interception. The Lamar Tigers hit the Clinton Cardinals hard as it was Mark Gardner all the way.
Interception, and Lamar comes right out on their first play, and Gardner makes a great run, and he broke at least 5 tackles I saw that time, and Clinton's going to have to try to bounce back.
About a 74-yard run, and the point after attempt by Marty is good, just barely. Got a low.
How things are going for Lamar.
14-0 our score, just over 3 minutes remaining here in this first half. 6-yard line, and from there all the way went Mark Gardner, 74 yards for the touchdown. And now we get the play back in action as Lamar kicks off with Steve James deep back to receive, and he lets it go out of bounds. A huge kickoff, and they'll have to start at their own 20-yard line. The Clinton Cardinals deep in their own territory, and 3:09 remaining here. And you have to start thinking about, Coach, changing things on offense.
You're still going to have to run the ball, but you may be looking at some play-action passes here, some safe passes to try to get them out of the hole.
I formation behind Summers. Again, trailing 14-0 are the Clinton Cardinals on their own home field in Game 2 of district play in 1995. Hands off to Ray Swettenham, and he fumbles, and the Lamar Tigers get it right back.
Dusty Van Gilder.
Mr. Everything on defense, as you talked about here in this first half. 14-0. The Tigers already out in front by 2 touchdowns. 2 men to the near side as receivers, 1 to the far, and it's Gardner in the backfield behind Marty. They take the throw and hand off to Gardner, and he picks up all the way past the 15 down to the 10, inside the 10-yard line, Mark Gardner. And I think they made the right call on offense, Coach. Just to heck with into the red zone there. It's 1st and goal on the 8-yard line for the Lamar Tigers. Marty hands off to Gardner again to the near side. This time, though, he's just maybe getting a couple of yards on that play. He runs him out of the Cardinals, run him out of bounds. And it'll barrel. And, of course, we've got a number of other teams that are in action around our area. We'll get to those lineups in a little bit here as we now have 2nd and goal for the Tigers, already ahead 14-0. And it's Gardner again trying to find a hole, and this time not going anywhere. Matter of fact, I think he lost another yard for the Lamar Tigers with the I formation behind Marty, who looks over the Clinton defense and sees something he doesn't like. Let's take a 30-second timeout, and we'll be back with more here on 61 seconds remaining, as we said, here in this first half, and the Tigers already up 14-0 as we have a 3rd and goal now for the Tigers. Marty, the quarterback, barking out signals, fakes the handoff. He's got wide open room here to the near side if he can beat the man, but no, a good open field tackle that time by the Clinton Cardinals. Looked like number 23 in on the stop that time. Again, that is Chris Weber. Good play by him, playing there for defense. Marty in there to do the kicking. The snap will be done, or the hold will be done by Courtney Roth. Number 46, high snap, but brought down, and he's faking it. Now he picks up the ball. Does Marty? He bobbles it, tries to throw, and he may have a man in the end zone. He does. Touchdown! Holy cow! I didn't think I'd say that all night, but holy cow, folks, that was incredible. Tiemann was the one who caught the touchdown for the
who is the quarterback and the place kicker, picked the ball up and just threw a desperation Hail Mary into the end zone right to Lamar. It's not going to be your night. This definitely hasn't been Clinton's half.
Okay, here comes the extra point attempt again, this time on the kick. It's good. They were going for the field goal, and the Lamar Tigers keep on rolling despite mistakes, despite them up one way, and we thought, well, maybe this time with that they might be able to make a play out of it as they go with a squib kick, and Weber for the Cardinals brings it up to their 45-yard line. So Clinton starts at the 45-yard line with 10 seconds to play. Basically, Summers comes back up under center with the I formation behind him. Barking out signals, hands off this time to the fullback Swetnam, who fumbled on his last time, unfortunately, but that's it. After one half of play, it's been Lamar Tigers on some fortunate bounces and some well-executed plays after those turnovers that has gotten a 21-0 lead for them over the Clinton Cardinals on the road here at Clinton. We'll take a break and be right back with the halftime activities here on Kitty Kitty, 1280 AM, Clinton, Missouri.
Back on you like the field goal attempt, which, you know, was a total chaotic play that ended up being a touchdown for Lamar. It looked like Clinton was going to get out of there with just giving up 3 points or maybe 0 if he was to miss the attempt, and then have seven more. Because Clinton should have had their choice, but they may have chosen to kick off.
Well, Weber kicks it off and drives it down past the 15 and rolls into the end zone. So the 20-yard line is where the Lamar Tigers will start off. The wind is kind of kicked back up again, and it wasn't a very high kick, obviously. Hanks, as well as number 73, of course, Jason Walker at the tackles, along with Swetnam and Winders at the end positions. Back on offense come the Tigers with Marty at the quarterback position and handing off to Gardner. Gardner's not going anywhere, as it looked like, I believe that was Walker on the stop, along with number 22, Borland. Jason.
To negate that sprint draw, when you stack your outside backers, it makes that guard have to turn up field for the trap block, and it causes confusion for Lamar.
Okay, another pitch this time, this to Gardner, and he breaks a couple of tackles. Fine movement that time and busts it all the way up past the 30-yard line up to the 31. He's probably got another first down, but, you know, Coach, that is, he just, you know, he knows where to cut, juke and jive. He reminds me of the way Brandon.
And that's all natural ability. You can't coach instinct. He has great instincts and knows exactly when to cut, and it's just causing a lot of missed tackles.
First down now past the 30 to 31-yard line, and we have a flag. I think that's maybe our first flag of the evening, as I think that play is going to be blown dead. You get 10:38 the clock running here, as we now have one man to the far side as a receiver for the Tigers, with two men behind Marty, the quarterback. Back is Marty. He keeps the ball, keeps it, and there is a fumble on the play, but it goes out of bounds. He, I think, was wanting to pitch it there at the last second, but
he did pitch the ball.
Did he? Well, he tried to get rid of it, but went out. It's second down and 15 on the 25-yard line of Lamar, as Marty pitches it this time to his running back, Gardner. Gardner going to the far side, tries to stretch it out there, breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle all the way up past the 35-yard line, and now finally wrestled down at the 39-yard line. Boy, I thought they had him there, Coach, at about the 30. He broke that tackle there, got up.
Stops and turns and runs the exact opposite direction the play is supposed to go. That's just something you can't do much about.
As we again on third and short have the run by Gardner, but this time good play by the Clinton Cardinal defense, shutting him down at just past the 40-yard line. He needed to get to the 41-yard line. It was third quarter. First down with Marty calling out the signals and the eye behind him. This time the fullback gets it and busts it all the way up past the 45-yard line down to the 47-yard line. Looked like number 26, that is Brent Tiemann, on the carry all the way
a little bit, and you pop your fullback one time to keep you honest, honor that, and
as
come back with the same play.
Exactly, and he busted up to the 50-yard line, and so he's right at midfield, and it'll bring up another third and about one. Sitting receiver out there is Nathan Forrest, and again it is Tiemann along with Gardner behind Marty, and again Tiemann gets the ball, 3 straight carries as they give Gardner a break, and he does the job for him past the 49-yard line where he needed to go, and all the way down to about the 46-yard line, picking up the first
play. Is going to come here with the fake to the fullback and the give to Gardner.
1st and 10 as Marty again hands off. This time though the man is met in the backfield for a loss of about a yard. Dana Banks, they're going to credit him with the tackle, and at least a conference champion. He'd like to play in a playoff game before he gets out of high school football. Right now, though, the Lamar Tigers are blocking that way, 21-0. They're ahead as now we have the play back in action, and Gardner breaks another tackle all the way past the 30 down to the 25-yard line, make it the 26-yard line of the Clinton Cardinals. Do we have a flag? Yes, we do. So we'll wait and see what happens there. So Houston Gardner doing as we wait for the officials just about remaining here.
In physical stature, he runs extremely hard, and when you're getting hurt by him, you know you're going to get some more of Mr. Gardner.
And good penetration by the line that time, but guess who broke through? Again, it's Tiemann again, but he got it a first down all the way this time to the 29-yard line, just 3 yards shy of where he was the last time, Coach. Didn't seem to matter because they busted Randall Sullivan, number 51, and another junior, Tyler Timmons. So you've got those young men coming back, most of them, for this Tigers ball club. Again, this time running play with Gardner, who comes to the near side and is run out of bounds at about the 26-yard line, bringing up a second down. But again, it's just
they've almost got a 6-minute drive going here, which is not what Clinton wanted to see happen.
No, they started this drive on their own 20, folks, after the ball went into the end zone on the opening kickoff. The Cardinals elected to go on defense, as this time the play goes, I believe that was Gardner again. Yes, it was, and they're going to credit James on the tackle, Steve James. And
set in the stands and second guess people, but you know, the coaches know what they want to do, and before the game and at halftime, and
flag, and I believe too much time on Lamar Tigers. This is the 3rd penalty of this game, and they've all been on this one drive and all against Lamar. But it hasn't shut down this offense, especially the ground attack of the Lamar Tigers. 12 situation with a receiver to the near side and 2 to the far. And Gardner, the lone back behind his quarterback, Brett Marty. Marty barking out signals, takes the snap, throws to the man here on the near side, and he cuts it up past the 30, down to the 20, all the way to about the 15-yard line. That was number 46. Courtney Roth was the receiver for the Tigers. Picks up big yardage in the first down.
Going to have to bring those defensive backs up for run support.
Now it's, again, the I formation behind Marty. This time, again, he hands off to Tiemann. This time, though, he's not going anywhere, as the defense for the Clinton Cardinals is right there along with the folks. Lamar Tigers are doing what they want to do. They're not having a boring time. They're already up 21-0. And so the Lamar Tigers back on offense with Marty keeping the ball and keeps it all the way past the 20 and into the end zone for a touchdown from 18 yards out. The Lamar Tigers make it 15 yards out as they gave him a 2-yard gain, nothing score, and have equaled the point total of what they had last year against these Cardinals. Look to get the point after attempt now. Marty again to do those honors. Snap spotted, down, kick is up, and it is blocked by the Cardinals. So it remains 27-0 in favor of Lamar. Let's take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a moment here on KDKD Sports from Clinton.
Deal Tire Company at one.
Capped off with a 15-yard run by their quarterback, Brett Marty. And it is now 27-0 as they get ready to do the kickoff with Steve James back deep to receive for the Clinton Cardinals. Nice kickoff all the way down to about the 10, make it 11-yard line is where Steve James will take the ball, trying to get some blocking there along the far sideline. Gets past the 25 and is racked up by about 2 or 3 Lamar Tigers at about the 28-yard line. He paid the price, but he got it up past the 25 to the 28-yard line to Steve James, and the 28-yard.
Not a whole lot of time, so you're going to have to take your chances and try to put it up and make some things happen.
Summers is at quarterback. Barking out signals with Winburn now in motion to the far side. And he's going to pass, and now we have a flag on the play. The play is blown dead. The play will be blown dead, so we'll have the penalty more than likely against Clinton. That's their first penalty, I believe, of the evening. We've had all our penalties here in this third quarter. Again, make it under 4 minutes. Lone receiver in the ball game for the Cardinals, Swetnam, along with, I believe, Jimmy Page in that I formation behind Summers. Summers barking out signals. Now goes back to pass. He's rushed. He throws. He's got James wide open on the 37-yard line, past the 40 now, and down to the 42-yard line is where the officials are going to mark him, maybe the 43. And so a fine play, even though he was going to get hit again, is there. I won't say anything on that one, folks. It's a long night, unfortunately. 27-0, Lamar out in front. And here goes the Cardinals on the run with Melvin Carroll busting it all the way into to the Lamar Tiger territory, all the way down to the 40-yard line. Nice play. First time we've seen Melvin Carroll get that 2:56 remaining here in this third quarter, and 27-0, Lamar out in front. But the Cardinals trying to fight their way back with two receivers to the near side in this formation with Summers back to pass. Summers throws. Again, he is hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Winburn was one of the receivers there, but looked like number 63 was in there.
Get pressure on the quarterback and make him throw some errant passes.
2nd and 10. 40-yard line is where the Clinton Cardinals are in Lamar Tiger territory. Summers barking out signals with Page and Winburn to the near side as receivers. Handoff goes to Ray Swetnam. He gets a few yards on a play to the far side of the field, down to about the 30. Go to the far side again. That is Winburn. Swetnam will be the fullback with Carroll at the tailback position. Summers barking out signals. Make that Weber is the tailback. Summers now throws. Pass is tipped and incomplete. He was looking for Steve James on that play. Tigers, when they've had to play defense, starting to make things happen for them on that side of the ball, Coach.
Sure, again, it's just the pressure.
Along with Winders, A.J. Day, and those players, Dana Banks also trying to do their best against this Lamar Tiger defensive line on 4th and 8. The Cardinals must go for it, trailing 27-0. It will be James in a motion, and now we have motion on the Clinton Cardinals. Summers backed up. They were trying to set something up. It was actually not Steve James, as again, they have to pass. Make it 3 wide receivers, trips right to the far side. Swetnam the only back behind Summers. Summers barking out signals. Swetnam now goes in motion as a receiver to the near side. Summers looks, tries to throw it for Steve James, coming over, or make that Paul Howerton, who was trying to come over the middle there, and it just Clinton, Missouri. I'm Jeff Haldeman alongside Roger Carter, the Sherwood Marksman head football coach, as the Lamar Tigers go back on offense, 1st and 10, and another run play. Guess who? Oh, it was Tiemann. Well, guess who? Him, because this quarter, he's really made his presence felt around about 5'10".
Extremely quick. He hits that hole 100 miles an hour just from his fullback spot, and again, Clinton has to be keen on Gardner, and then you get a fullback running all over. It's just a real tough situation for the defense.
And the penalties all come in this quarter, as we have again a motion penalty against the Tigers. 6 remaining here in the third quarter, and they're still down 27-0. But they're back on defense again. Marty for the Tigers, the quarterback under center. He hands off, and now we have a fumble on the ground. We've had a number of fumbles, most of them though recovered by every one of them have been recovered by their own players, so nobody's turned it over that way. Well, actually, take that back. Excuse me. Ray Swetnam, with about 3 minutes remaining in that first half. The interception really cost him there in that first half when Summers tried to hit James, but underthrew him. As again, we have the Tigers back out on offense, and another run this time by the Tigers. And again, it is Tiemann, I believe, bringing it all the way up to the 49-yard line of Lamar. And it is a 4th down now, 4th and 4.
A lot financing. So come by with your trade and take advantage of these prices and this inventory at Ready Motors Budget.
Thank you very much, Bobby Knight, back at the Kitty controls, as we will get back into the ball game with the Lamar Tigers going to punt. even though Marty, of course, is the quarterback, and he goes back now this time to punt, and he will kick a booming high kick, bouncing now at the 15 and out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. 6-yard line is where they're going to mark. Again back in there at quarterback, the I formation with Carroll at the tailback position behind him. Summers takes the snap, and this time it's going to Carroll on the running play. He avoids 2 tacklers. A nice stop-and-go run there as he goes past the 10-yard line. Right at the 10-yard line is where they're going to mark him down. He made a good cut there, Coach, and was able to get a few yards.
You know, for the kids is to lift their spirits.
Despite a loss tonight, if the way things keep on going here, we'll talk about that more in just a little bit as Summers gets back to the action here on 2nd down. And again, this time hands it off to the running back. Believe that is Swetnam making the run there that time past the 10, almost to the 17-yard line, which is, I think, where he needed to get to. And the officials are going to call a timeout.
And watching this game go on, thinking, I might be able to make a difference if I'm in that game right now. And I know the coaching staff and the fans, are thinking right now that if we had our normal people out there, things might be a little different. But, that's football, and it's a contact sport, and you're going to get kids hurt. And I've had my
Mar up on top, 27-0. Clinton comes out with 2 men to the far side as receivers, and 1 man behind Summers, who rolls now to the far side and was going to throw, but then smartly he couldn't. He saw that his men were going to be covered, so he had the pressure as well. He clamped down on the ball, tried to make a little run for it, but he didn't get much a bit of pressure that time, and thought about throwing, of course, with those 2 men to that far side, but he couldn't do it. Too much pressure. As we talked about there earlier, the Tigers now, they don't care. They're coming to all men at all times with that 27-0 lead. Back goes Summers to pass. He hits Swetnam at the 25-yard line. He's very close to that first down. We'll see what the officials give. No, they're going to say he is short. And as well earlier on, making some big catches, and not too unfamiliar on that play as he gained some big yardage. 4th and 1 now for the Cardinals on their own 26-yard line. Summers barking out signals, trying to maybe get the Tigers to come off sides and get that easy first down, but they don't do it, so they go ahead and hand it off this time, and he is stopped. It's going to be close. Carroll was the one on the carry. We'll wait and see where the spot is. Summers to attempt a field goal. Summers at quarterback with Swetnam, and it looks like, I believe that is Weber behind Swetnam at the tailback. Winburn in motion as a receiver. Now they pass out to James in the flat. Steve James, the big tight end, rumbles past the 30-yard line to maybe about the 33-yard line. James, again, that huge target, and he's been so vital. He was last week in making some big plays. They're 27-0. The Lamar Tigers out in front in Game 2 of District 13 play here. The other game in District 13 will be taking on El Dorado Springs at Kansas City O'Hara tomorrow, as we now have a running play this time by Ray Swetnam of the Clinton Cardinals, past the 35 to the 36-yard line. Nice little bust that time by Ray, Coach.
Sure, it was a little fullback
tackle both on the defensive side and on the offensive side for these Clinton Cardinals. I've seen him, I think, every year. I remember him starting as a sophomore and in that 09 season, and now he's playing so well again this year for the Clinton Cardinals. I think we had motion on that line. It might have even been Dana, I'm sorry to say, but as soon as you compliment these guys, unfortunately something like that happens, but nonetheless it doesn't take away from the fine season he's had, and I believe he is going to go against the Cardinals, and it is motion, forcing them back. Adrian, an awful tough customer. They're taking on the state-ranked Osceola Indians tonight at Osceola, and we'll hopefully have that score a little bit later on 95.3 FM, KDKD, with scoreboards on our FM side. As Summers now goes back to the run with Melvin Carroll to the far side, and he goes really pretty much nowhere. The Lamar Tigers stretched it out very well again. We give credit, to big plays on offense for this Tigers team, but maybe not enough credit to the defense of the Lamar Tigers tonight, Coach.
And fresh kids out there.
It's awful tough, yes.
Playing defense, and that's awful tough with, majority of the Clinton players going both ways.
Summers on 4th down has to go back to pass. Looking to the near side, he is being pressured and sacked. Sacked by number 72, Jared Ellis.
by Jared Ellis.
And on fourth down, the Cardinals will have to turn it over. Number one, you're going to have a tough time, but it's one of those nights for the Clinton Cardinals as they will have to chalk up another loss. Looks like Gardner again on the carry. We haven't had to call his number too much in this second half. He did all of his damage in the first half, including a 74-yard touchdown run to give his team that part of that 27-0 lead. But again,
you know, rolling on you starts to roll downhill, and just a lot of times you have trouble turning that momentum around.
Marty is still in there at quarterback, but I believe we've got fresh backs in there right now as Gardner will take a well-deserved rest as the fullback gets the handoff this time from Marty. Let's check and see who that is. I believe that's a brand new fullback, or maybe that is still Seaman. I can't tell. No, that's a new player. Barry Sanders type of running back, you know, and very effective on the ground tonight for the Lamar Tigers, obviously. Marty again, this time hands off to the tailback, and that, I believe, is number 41, Vaughn. Brandon Vaughn is the tailback now for...
Had to go in for the touchdown. It was all teaming, all fullback dives and fullback traps, and then finished it off with the option play. But he had a fine game. Nearly
3 minutes remaining here in this ball game as another pass. This time Marty over the far side, coming over the middle to get that was Zach Masterson. Came down with the ball and his first catch of the evening. He's no tiny himself, 160 pounds, and he's just a junior. As Lamar goes back on offense, and again they take the handoff this time to the fullback, looks like, and he's moved back by a number of Cardinal tacklers, including Brandon Winders. And let's see, was that Hillman? Hillman was the man that carried the ball that time, number 31. Again, under 3 minutes remaining here, and the Lamar Tigers will move their mark to 7-2, while the Cardinals will fall to 4-5 with one more regular season game remaining, that going to El Dorado Springs next week. Another run that time, but this time the ball is put on the ground as the ball carrier for Lamar fumbled, but as has been the case all evening, they may have made a fumble, but they've been able to pick it up. That's the thing.
That's four times that's happened.
There was, I think, everything for Lamar tonight, and pretty much nothing for Clinton except for a few plays here and there. As Marty, quarterback for the Lamar Tigers, with 1:30 remaining in this ball game, takes as much time as possible. Hands off again to, I believe, that is his fullback. Number 31, Jim Hillman. He tried to get in there from about 4 or 5 yards out, but could not make it. Maybe we can talk about those, Coach, here in just a little bit as we start to wrap up this ball game here. Under 40 seconds remaining now as the Tigers again go for it on fourth down. They get the touchdown. From about 2 yards out, Hillman, the fullback, carries it in with 41 seconds now left. I said it was under 40. I thought it ticked down past there. 41 seconds is what they have remaining here in this ball game, and that just honors on that. A very impressive night by the Lamar Tigers, Coach. That's all you got to say. It really, I mean, don't take anything away from them, because as the extra point is put up, it was a low kick, but no good. And so if there's any, the last two, so it will more than likely be a 33-0 score, your final here as
the ball 4 times, and they've recovered it all 4 times. Just little things like that can really take it out of you as far as your confidence level, and it's just been one of those nights for Clinton that you just want to get over with and try to regroup and get ready for El Dorado next week.
And Melvin Carroll takes the kickoff. He bobbled it, lost it for a minute, picked it back up, and gets it past the 15-yard line, making it about the 17. I keep on alluding back to a game we did a couple weeks back as Ryan Summers goes back up under center with 2 men behind him in the I formation. Summers just hands it off to Ray Swetnam. He busts it up past the 20-yard line to about the 25-yard line. And that's going to do it for the ball game, folks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final score, 33-0, Lamar over Clinton. We're going to keep it here for just a moment, and I want to continue that thought with you, Coach. Again, El Dorado Springs looms ahead now for the Clinton Cardinals next week. You go down there, and as I said before, I remember we doing, Kitty, sports director Kyle Knight and myself doing a game with Drexel in Appleton City. Drexel coming into that ball game, of course, having not won a ball game game, the whole year, averaging 3 points a ball game. Appleton City coming off a big homecoming win and feeling like maybe things were going to turn around in their season. They felt like they would have, everything in the world going for them. Clinton Cardinals have got a lot of. They'll be taking things probably a lot more seriously now after this ball game, wouldn't you say?
Right. There's several things that can happen. Unfortunately for Clinton tonight in the district playoff system, you want to try to score as many points as you possibly can because you're awarded points for deficit. How bad you beat people. There's, Lamar has to go play O'Hara, which that's not a given game for Lamar. They're going to have to play well, and the key is